Hello, welcome to Joni's Crafty Space, a peaceful place. I thought I'd come on and show you what have I been doing video, just some of the projects I've been working on, what's been going on. And okay, wait, I forgot to put these under here. Hold on, I got a stack. Okay, so been busy. A couple weeks ago, if you remember, I had made this, I'd taken this reader. I have a bunch of these Reader Digests, and I don't know what to do with them. Well, I do. Now I didn't. Now I do. That's why I got into junk journaling in the first place. If lots of things that I can do, then I don't feel bad. So I inherited a lot of stuff. I've been gifted things. I got out of control. And so I had to find something to do with them. And this is what we've come up with. So some of the Reader's Digests, I made this one into like a pocketbook. So, I added little pockets in it. I watched a few videos and that's what I did. So I turned it into pockets, and I've done a few pages here or there of things in it. I'm just kind of playing, but I made it so I could stick things I make in it. So here are some of the little cards. I've been playing with my Reader's Digest. And I'm getting too much stuff, so I made some cards. I really liked this Uncle Ben's. I just wrapped the ad around the card. I think that one is really cute. So I'm going to stick it somewhere in here. Where are we going to put you? You need to be in a... See, I also like playing like this because then I can kind of see what I like. And I think I'm going to put Uncle Ben right there. That's perfect. Then I had found this image here and I really liked it, and I put it on one of the book pages. I really like to see what they say, so I will particularly pick ones that interest me. And like this one here talks about the American business and industry to stagnate into depression. I like history, and I like the not so nice side of history as well. So I think that's always fun to include there. So that was kind of fun from one of the stories. So maybe I'll put that on this side. Oh, no. No, I don't want her on that side. Hang on. We're swapping sides. Now I can see Ben and I can see her peeking through. How cute is that? Okay, and then this was another one. I really liked this picture. I don't know what is going on here, but I liked it. So there's like a girl. She's like dangling from a rope, like she's trying to sneak in maybe a dorm or something. And then I found this other page from another book that said Chemical Warfare and Disarmament, page 253. And that picture fits so perfectly there that that's what I backed it on. And it's a recent disarmament proposals. It's the riddle of the ride. And that tickled me, because I don't know what's going on there. Chemical warfare. Sneaking into people's dorms? That sounds like chemical warfare to me. It won't fit in there, so we're going to find another pocket for it. I kind of like it with that. Oh, yeah. Okay, you're out and you're in. I just stuck a bunch of cards in the pockets so that I could, if I didn't have an idea, I could use the card itself and decorate the back. But if I did, I was going to swap it. And then I have this one I made, which was from an advertising story, which I really love that. And so I loved the pictures. They're like drawing for their advertisement. They're all sitting around, crunching. I don't know. Let me think. And so they're having an advertising moment. And so then I took a few of the other images there and put them here. They're drafting boards here. Here they're thinking. And then this was another little picture, a cutout of him drafting the ad. And then I found this. I love to save the quotes out of stuff. So like I said, so I found this fun quote right here. And it says, some notable instances which prove what does that say? Doubtless to the surprise of certain, I don't know. That's the point. But then it says, that is necessary to commit murder. And I wanted to make sure that murder was right there. So when you read it, even the words that are missing, it still sounds, some notable instances which prove to the surprise of certain, that is necessary to murder once in order page frame. And that tickles me. So that's going in somewhere. Where are we going to put this? And so I like to do that. I don't know why, but that's my sense of humor. And since my books are for me, that's the kind of things I'm making. That's the kind of things I like to do. So I love anything kind of business or anything peculiar like that tickles me. All right, I'm going to put that in here. I did have this lemon card, but we're going to, Dear Life, it's beautiful here. Oh, I don't know. I kind of like that still. That kind of goes along with my little advertising card. Yes, when life hands you, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to put, when life hands you lemons, squeeze them at the mean people and hope you get them in the eye. And I left some of the pictures that I thought were cute in the book as well. I love the alligator. So that's fun. Okay. So I did some of that. And then this Reader's Digest, what didn't have a spine as nice as that one. So I decided to take it apart and make a journal. So I did just that. I'll show you where I'm at so far. I'm in the process. So this was, first of all, I love this cover. It has like a gold to it. I tried to clean it. It's not, you know, I know anyone who's played with these knows the problem. So I'm thinking I might go over with a gold pen and re-gold that. That's an idea in my head at the moment. But either way, I still think it's pretty, and in the right light, it looks nice, so it's okay. Then I wanted to save that little decoration on the edge, so when I cut it, I was real careful. And then I had this wallpaper sample that I think I got from, you know, one of the girls in the community. I don't remember if it came in a Happy Mail or if I had bought it at one of the sales, but nonetheless, it matched beautifully. So it was my inspiration. And I have not glued this part down. I had done all the spine and then I left it to dry, and it's been sitting there a couple, you know, like, I think I made it Saturday and it's Tuesday. And so I'll work on it some more. But I had already cut my end pages, and originally, you know, I was going to glue that down and put those on top. But as I was getting this all in, I was looking for the papers and I put them on, I really thought it looked cool like that, where you still saw some of that peeking out in your, and because it's such a clean, straight line, it appealed to my eyes. So I'm going to do my end papers like that. I got this straight cardstock paper, and I've got my cutoffs for my pages, but I'll show you. That's the cutoffs. We'll put you over there. A little couple things. I really liked this little image from one of the Reader's Digest, and it just kind of fell onto the cover, and I was like, ooh, I'm going to keep that. And so it was part of the inspiration there. So then I was digging. I found this little embossed piece I got in a Happy Mail. This was some watercolor. Me and we have been playing with watercolors. I'll show you some of that in a minute. And they looked really cool together, you know, in there. So I wanted to kind of make that my inspiration. So my pages kind of came that way. So I'll show you. I made 2 signatures for this. I haven't sewn them in yet, obviously. I'm going to glue all that down first. But, or I guess I could put them in and then glue it down. But I think it would be easier to do it. But anyway, so here's my 2 signatures. This is my first signature. So that's some paper. But with this one, I saw a video. Well, I've seen a few people do these little, you know, pockets. So I've cut that. I haven't glued it down yet, but that's because I had glued this down. I was waiting for it to dry. Like I said, I was doing all of this Saturday, waiting for it to dry, but I just used extra papers from the pages from the Reader's Digest, and I glued down the ones that didn't, you know, that were cut off, and I put them there. So I really like that in the background. And then I had this little envelope that I have. Isn't that pretty? And I loved it with that paper. So I put the envelope there. And then that was just out of an old book I took apart. And well, I guess I should show you. I didn't know, I should watch more videos, clearly. Here's another page. And then I put, you know, just some old note paper that was, you know, vintage and old. And it had some patina. I glued it on top there. And And there's a little stamp page. This was from A Boy's Life, 1963, and it's all the military academies. And that tickled me. So I cut it in half and then glued it on top of each other. The other side was cool too. It was like coins, but I don't know. Military Academy was fabulous. And then this is some ledger paper. And I left the back inside so you could read. So this is the center of the ledger paper. So that way you can still read it. I think this is one I got from, I think this is the one that I got from Sandy, which was minutes from like a women's debate team or something. I don't know. Oh, it's cool is what it is. And then that way I can still read it and keep that, but I've got plenty of spots to add things. There's some more of the military part, and there's the other side with the blue, and that's why I picked that page, because it pulled out that blue. I love it. And then this part of the stamp, I kept the edges on this page. I cut it off at the top, but not at the bottom. I'm guessing you can see it, yeah. Because I really liked those little designs there. And then there's the other side of that. And then on this side, I folded this over so I could either make a flip or a tuck spot, probably is what I'll do there. And then on this one, this was some vellum that somebody had graciously sent me. Another blank page from an end page from a book. Here is another part of the boy's life. So here you've got some you know, space type stuff going on there. What is it? It's service in the reserves. It's your military obligation. And I liked it because I liked this right here. So I took one of the pages and I just folded them in. It said Chief Scout Executive, and I wanted to see that signature, and I wanted to have pockets. So I found another page that I glued on top. Plus, this is falling apart. This magazine is literally crumbling. Not literally, but literally. Do you know what I mean? This is its last chance. If I don't do anything with it, it isn't going to be around. Okay? It's going to be dust. I have some project, you know, some things like that. But I left the year there again, and it was this little notepad writing set. And I thought that was so cute. Write and roll. So I wanted that peeking above my pocket. So I just folded that page over to sturdy it. And then, you know, so that it got more, it's thicker now, you know. So there you go. You can see where I kind of I cut and then glued it on top there, half page. So there you go. You got him. He looks so colonial. I freaking love it. And then that's the end of that. So that's going to be that little, oh, wait. What is this? This fell out. This fell out? Or is that, did I make 3 signatures? I don't think so. What is this from? I did. This goes in here. Whoop. Sorry. We weren't done. It's a blank page that just had notes from the end of a book that, like a textbook you would write in. Here's just paper. I did another envelope in this one. It's a craft envelope. I added a piece of tissue because then I added this book here, which is another ledger. Oh, it's backwards. Let me flip it over. From 1880. This is also one I probably got from our dear friend Sandy. Let's see. And so, yeah, I love my ledgers. That's right, because one was from a girls' debate team, and the other one, I think this one was from a college sorority. So there's a cry, you know, there it goes back again. Anyway, I'm probably making this too long. It's like, nobody cares. Yes, I do, because this is the thing I like about YouTube is that I can go back and watch some of my older video. I didn't remember making that. All right, so then I started having a lot of clippings from these Reader's Digests. I've taken apart, I think, a dozen of them now, and I still have several to go. And I'm stopping because I got to get some of it used up. I just got so much. So I thought masterboards were great. So I took some of my favorite little images and I just glued it onto here. and I really like it. And I didn't plan on it being all wonky, except I glued this one down, and then I glued this one down, but I glued this one down, and then I was like, oh, I'm going to put that one there. But then when for some reason, I'm turning it to lay it this way, but then when I go to lay it down, I laid it this way, and the paper's so fragile, it wasn't coming up. So I said, well, then it's going to be an all-around masterboard. So that's what I did. And I used some really neat pictures. I think this guy was kind of creepy. There's like, the mom and the dad. I loved the eagle there in the Capitol in the back. Love that. It's my kind of stuff. Here's this little guy. He's peeking in front of these columns, which I loved, but then I left his little face because that made me laugh. I thought these guys were kind of cool looking. So there was several of that in a story and a couple other stories. There was some, there's a little story about, I think that was a story about Vietnam. So I really liked having that in there. And then this guy was kind of, Gandalf-ish. I don't know. And then this lady here I thought was cool. So it was very windy. I liked that scene. So I really liked the way this masterboard turned out. And so what I really like that. Oh, I hate when that happens. Her name just flew right out of it. Anyway, there's this really cool channel. If I remember, when I upload this, I'll tag her. And she just sends out postcards to people. And why can't I do that? So I'm very inspired by that idea. So I know my art might not be, or my taste might not be everyone's thing, but that still doesn't mean you wouldn't like a really fun postcard. So I thought these masterboards I might do that with. And that way I can use up some of this stuff and I can make some little postcards. Here's the other one I did. And this one, again, used some interesting images that just kind of made my eyes smile. I love anything old Americana and, European history. I like all that kind of stuff. I like the 70s and 60s and 50s and 40s, but I'm also very drawn by, the older stuff. I like history, myself, like in general. So I'm very drawn. I mean, that's what most of my books are. So I'm very drawn to history. I write papers and stuff about it. So, long versions of fan fiction and other such things. And so, watercolor. So here was some of the watercolor. I was playing. There's another lady that I've come across recently who watercolors, and I don't know the way she does it. And I'll try to remember. I can't remember her name either, but I'll try to remember to put what got on there. Her link channel too. But she makes it look so easy. In a way that it looks like I can make it. I don't know. It's the way she describes it, how she does it. I don't know what it is, but she has really inspired me lately to want to watercolor. And so I've been doing that. So I've been playing with my brushes and the different sizes of brushes and smashing them down and using the edges of my brushes and making petals. I really love these. I love that one. Made me think of those hyacinths. And then these look very tropical. And so even though I love these. And I actually really liked these blue ones. I'm not so crazy about that one, but I really liked these three. This one was more of a ball. But when they're not so much a ball, they're prettier. But then I thought, well, it could just be looking at me. It would look like that if I saw it from the front. I was kind of playing with maybe like a fern. I didn't really care for that. This one I also kind of liked. It made me think, of like, I was just kind of seeing, leaving it and then putting color on it. It kind of made me think of like a hydrangea. I wasn't too crazy about that with the yellow. Not at all. But these were kind of cute. Not bad. And I didn't like this orange. I didn't like that technique. That was a different type of brush. And But, you know, it can be chopped up, so it's still neat. So I've been having fun doing that. Here's Wheeze. She was also having fun. She's still learning. She has to let colors dry completely, but that's okay. I had to learn that too. Here's another one. She's so cute. We got pigtails all the time. And here's one I did when I was just thinking of like a background page or something I could tear and put borders or something like that on. So I just wanted to add some rows of colors. And then here's another one. I was thinking of making like a opossum, but it wasn't dry. She was done at this point. I thought that these might be really cute to cut out for fairy wings. So I might just do a bunch of fairy wings. So I also have some shimmer. And then I can add the fairy wings to my little paper, you know, my little paper dolls. And then I loved this look here. Not so much the squiggles, but I really liked this. I thought that would be really pretty as a background or in the background of something. So there's my watercolors. So I've been doing that. Okay. And then I've been sorting. I haven't got tags yet, but I've been sorting all of my ephemera that I'm yanking out of these books. I'm going to come back with another video, or I don't know what order they're going to go in when they get there. But I'm going to start sharing, because now that I've gotten through all the sorting, and I'm getting things, okay, what am I keeping out of this collection? What do I want to? So I'm dividing my books in half. Which books are going to stay on my shelf because they're fun to look at, or I don't want to, want to read them still, or I don't want to tear them up. They're part of something else, and the ones that I don't mind too, because any of my books I obviously bought because I like that topic. I like that story or whatever. So I'm kind of splitting it. And then anything that's already falling apart, obviously, I want to use it instead of throw it away. So what I've done with all of this stuff from these dozen of Reader's Digest is I've started sorting some of them by categories. And I have another in my drawer over there. I do have just loose pieces in there for collaging, but these were ones that I already have categories for other stuff, so I'm putting them in here, so then they'll go into the other categories. So first I have a conspiracy category. So I found this one story that had conspiracy just several times in the title, and I got really excited, so I cut out some of that stuff. So anytime I find something that says conspiracy, or that is in that genre for that journal, I have a conspiracy journal. I'm gonna, I found that, I got so excited, because where do you find conspiracy stuff? You don't. So this is all ships and boats. I have a ship and boat thing. This one was dolls. I have dolls. That's coming up in a share. What were these? Oh, I think this was, what were in there? That's like, oh yeah, so that's LA, or, entertainment is what that is. Entertainment. That's what that one is. This one's cars. This one is restaurants. So not everything in here. Oh, this one going in my smoke. I found a couple of these in a book. The cigarette miles. And that's going in my smoking journal. I'm going to make my smoking journal look like a smoking jacket on the cover. That's the idea in my head. So if anybody has any, and then I just want to fill it with old smoking ads. So I got to figure out how to pull that off. But that's my idea there. So I found those. I was going, it's on one of the digests. So I got a pile. Originally, I have a cover that says fire on it that I had got for that, but it's kind of small, and I really think I need a bigger book for that. So I might have to find a different book for that one. This was like Christmas or winter, so I put that there. So I've got Christmas. This is United States. This is business, textiles. So anything that's got textiles, this is a picture of an old textile mill. So that's going in my textiles journal. Then I got a little Boy Scout. My Scouts, that's golf. I'm not making a golf journal, but I have enough of it. I have a bunch of it. So I'm going to collect it anyway. And maybe somebody might go, I'm making a golf journal. And I'll go, good, you can have it. That was like, teeth. So I think that's Pepsodent and toothpaste. Yeah, that's what that is. And it's the Tooth Fairy journal. This is in my colds. I have a flus and colds journal. And then that's sheep and goats. This one is, oh, this is crafting one. So that's for yarn. And that one was for wood putty. Valentine's Day. Cute kids art I cut out of a book. That's just like, you know, little drawings of kids art. So I'm going to have to make pictures or something for doll houses with that. Oh, dragons. Moving. I have a journal about moving. I've already got the cover thanks to somebody who sold it to me, or, you know, offered it for sale at a sale, and I got super excited. I moved a lot as a kid, so I wanted to have a moving journal for me. And then ants. This is my only phobia. I can deal with them, but I have a moment. My palms get sweaty when I see ants. My heart starts palpitating. And I was attacked by ants. I know that sounds really lame, but it did happen. And as a wee, I was about 5 years old, and so it's a thing. And so I wanted to have a journal just about ants because I've spent many, many years being able to conquer that, and I'm good with it now. And just like I said, my body reacts, but my brain goes, that's ridiculous. Get the raid. Boiling water coming up. But anyway, this one was moths. I think this is textiles too. So maybe I had 2 of them. Yeah, that needs to go in textiles. Where didn't I have their textiles? I did. That's like crafts, but I had one. See, I got to put tabs on them, and then they go in alphabetical order. I've already lost it. So when I put you can see these where I started to put the tabs on them. And then, so I'll put them in the box or in the basket in alphabetical order. So then I'll know, and so if I find it in another book, this is just me getting started. Those are all birds. And that is home. So a lot of houseplants. This is going in the moving journal because that's part of that. But I separated them. The reason I did that is because when I'm doing journals, because that is a part of my life, I incorporate it in more than just that one moving journal. Do you see what I mean? And I want to just have one location that I can just pull one out and sneak it in like a little Easter egg. Then I've got balloons. There's a story behind that. So there's a balloon journal. This is colonial. And so we've got some Williamsburg stuff. And so I just was putting anything kind of colonial in here. That's for a journal. Oh, these are my mini magazines I'm going to make. I was folding up, look at these cute little things. I was folding up these little bits I was cutting out of a magazine, and they had like a strip of the pictures, but I cut them and I fold them in half, and I'm going to make tiny magazines that I can sneak and stuff. So everything in this is the perfect, you know, thing for a tiny magazine. And then I could just need to put pages in it. So as I collect my stuff, and then I can have little teeny magazines. Okay, this was princessy type stuff. So that's for the princess. There's some hearts. I have an anatomy journal. This is for the spy. I have a spy journal. That picture made me think very spy-like. Watergate. That's, you know, see, that's conspiracy. Do you see what I mean? These are the things that interest me. And then this was dogs. Anything dog. Baskets. My wee was saying she wanted to do a collage of baskets. Okay. And this was just some, backgrounds. These were, I just was cutting up stuff. So, and these were some images my mother sent me. I guess they were digital. She bought on Etsy a while back, and she used what she wanted. But anyway, I thought those would make really pretty fairy backgrounds or paper doll backgrounds. I saved those. What is this one? Oh, this is like art stuff or history stuff. Yeah, this is all history stuff. So, like, there's this Hebrew scholar, just things that I could kind of sprinkle in masterboards and stuff. So is this all, maybe this is biblical. There's Assyrian. Yeah, I think that kind of stuff is fun as well. So I put that there. What was this? I don't remember. Well, let me see what the other one is. Okay. Oh, architecture. That's right. I have an architecture journal I'm working on. I'll show you those books as well. A lot of these I'll show you because I'm not just saying that. I've actually got the pile. This was bananas. Like, this was sent to me in a Happy Mail, which was a cutout about bamboo. But I like the other side. The other side is the story of the banana. This part isn't, but this part is. And I had these little cutouts from a vintage magazine about banana shortcakes. And so I thought, I've got to do a banana something. So there, I put those together. So now a banana theme is happening. Isn't that how it happens for you? Is that how it happens for you? Where you're like, oh my God, I think I need a banana journal. This is Smokey the Bear, or I'm sorry. Yeah, Smokey the Bear. I've got a Smokey the Bear journal going. Another, just my own life. This is my own, these are my own life. They may not make sense to anyone else, but they do me. And then this is all anything book related. So like I cut out the little ad for the Classics Club. And then here's one you can, order these books, any books reviewed. Here's another one for a bookstore. And I want to do the bookstore journal because as a kid, the bookstore is one of my absolute favorite places to go, the library. And I thought it would be really neat to have a bookstore journal. And these were in some of the Reader's Digest, or not Reader's Digest, but some of the Book of the Months I inherited. And they're not doing well. So they're really trash. And most of the covers are gone, so it's okay. But I have to tell myself that every time I touch them. But anyway, these are the little books that are inside. I thought those would make great pages. Or could put together a bunch and have a little, magazine with them. So those are those. Okay, and then side note. So, somebody was in my space. I'm like, what they did. Oh, an adult. It wasn't we. And I could glue that back. I did find the pieces, but it was already chipped right here, but that didn't really bother me. Couldn't really tell. But that I can definitely tell. And so I don't know what I'm going to do. I think I might glue it back on and then maybe I'll make some crochet flowers or something and, maybe have them cascade into the bowl or something. And then you wouldn't even notice. And it would also still look pretty. So I haven't thrown out the little bits yet. I might try to glue those back on. And I think that's it. I think that's all I had in front of me. Yeah. So I did have something for Trinket Tuesday. I'm going to start jumping in now that Wee's in school. So my Wee is in school now. She's decided to go to school. So she's in a private school. But my days are, we were homeschooling. And so now, I have a little bit more time during the day. And I guess I've just been kind of still sorting and crafting, as you can see. But she's going in. This is her third week now. So I've kind of got the routine. So I think that I'm ready to join back into the, the community. Maybe I can do more videos. I don't know. I do like sharing my makes, though. I really do like that. I love sending people things. That brings me, I don't even know why that makes me so excited, but I really love that I'm with other women who also get super excited to send other people things because I know I'm not alone there. I'm a vicarious liver. And I really enjoy watching people open presents, even if they're not from me. And clearly, I'm not the only kid at the party that also will love to just sit there and watch people open presents. I love the expressions. I love the whole thing, the looks. Everybody going, oh my gosh, in the room. Oh, love that. Let me see. I'm one of those. So I'm glad to know I'm with friends. And I'll come back. Like I said, I've got a few other things I'm going to try to videotape today. I'm thinking about doing a collab, maybe my first collab. So that is kind of something I have been considering. So anyway, okay. Bye-bye.